Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English on Autopilot. I'm Mary, and I'm here with my co-host, Alex. Today, we're going to talk about two words that confuse English learners all the time, can and could.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I have to admit, I still sometimes get confused about when to use can versus could. They seem so similar. Like, sometimes I hear people say, "Can you help me?" And other times, "Could you help me?" What's the difference?
That's such a great question, Alex, and you're not alone. I've been teaching English for years, and this is one of the top questions I get from students. The confusion makes sense because can and could are related. Could is actually the past form of can. But here's the thing. They're not just about present and past. There's so much more to it.
Really? There's more than just present and past?
Oh, yes. Can and could have multiple uses, and understanding these differences will make your English sound so much more natural and polite. Today, we're going to cover 5 main differences between can and could, and I promise by the end of this video, you'll feel confident using both words correctly.
5 differences. That actually sounds manageable. I was worried it would be more complicated than that.
No, we're keeping this practical and simple. We'll talk about ability, both present and past. We'll talk about permission and requests, and this is where politeness really matters. And we'll talk about possibilities and how could expresses uncertainty. Each section will have lots of examples so you can really understand the pattern.
I love that. Examples always help me understand better than just rules.
Me too. That's why we focus on real conversations. Now, before we dive in, I want everyone watching to know that these modal verbs, can, could, and others like should, would, might, are some of the most useful words in English. Native speakers use them constantly in everyday conversation, so mastering can and could will really level up your English.
That's so true. I noticed native speakers using these words all the time. Okay, I'm ready to learn. Where should we start?
Let's start with the most basic and common use, using can to talk about ability in the present moment. Alex, let me ask you a question. Can you swim?
Yes, I can swim. Oh, see what you did there. You used can to ask about my ability right now.
Exactly, you caught that. So let's dive deeper into our first difference, can for present ability. We use can to talk about abilities we have right now in the present. When Alex said, I can swim, that means he has the ability to swim now, today. It's something he's capable of doing. Let me give you more examples. I can speak English. I can drive a car. I can cook pasta. I can use a computer. All of these are abilities I have right now at this moment in my life.
So, can is for things we're able to do in the present, things we have the skill or ability to do.
Exactly. And it's not just about physical abilities like swimming or running. We use can for mental abilities, skills, talents, anything you're capable of doing. For example, I can solve math problems. I can remember people's names. I can play chess. These are all abilities, things you have the capacity to do.
That makes sense. Let me practice. I can ride a bicycle. I can play the guitar. Not very well, but I can play it. I can speak 2 languages, English and Spanish. And I can cook basic meals. Nothing fancy, but I can feed myself.
Those are perfect examples, Alex, and I love that you added details like not very well and basic meals. That's very natural. Native speakers often add those kinds of qualifiers. Now, let's talk about the negative form. When we want to say we don't have an ability, we use can't or cannot. For example, I can't speak Japanese. I can't play the piano. I can't run very fast. I can't do a backflip.
I definitely can't do a backflip either. Let me try some negative examples. I can't sing very well. I'm tone deaf, actually. I can't do advanced math. Anything beyond basic algebra is too difficult for me. I can't wake up early without an alarm clock. It's impossible for me. And I can't touch my toes. I'm not flexible enough.
Excellent examples, Alex. You're really getting this. Now, here's a really important point about pronunciation that many learners don't know. In spoken English, can and can't sound very different, and this is crucial for understanding. We usually say can't with a strong, clear T sound at the end, but can, when it's in the middle of a sentence, is often reduced and sounds weak, almost like kn or sn.
Wait, can you say that again? The pronunciation is different?
Yes, listen carefully. I can swim. Did you hear how can was very soft and quick? It almost disappears. Now listen, I can't swim. Hear how can't is strong and clear? The T sound is very obvious.
Oh, wow, I can hear it now. So can is weak and reduced like I can swim, but can't is strong and clear like I can't swim.
Exactly. And this is so important because if you pronounce them the same way, people might get confused about whether you're saying you can do something or you can't do something. Imagine you're at a restaurant and the waiter asks, "Can you eat shellfish?" If you say, "I can't eat shellfish," but you pronounce it weakly, they might think you said, "I can eat shellfish," and bring you shrimp. That could be dangerous if you have an allergy.
Oh no, that's a serious mistake. So I need to make sure my can't is very clear and strong.
Yes, when you're saying you can't do something, really emphasize that T sound, can't. Make it strong and clear. But when you're saying you can do something in the middle of a sentence, it's okay for it to be soft and reduced. That's how native speakers talk naturally.
This is such useful information. Okay, let me practice. I can't speak French. Strong and clear. But I can speak Spanish. Soft and reduced. How was that?
Perfect. You've got it. All right. So to summarize this section, we use can for present abilities, things we're able to do now. We use can't for things we're not able to do. And remember the pronunciation. Can is soft in the middle of sentences, but can't is always strong and clear.
Great summary. I feel confident about this one. What's next?
Now let's move to the second use, could for past ability. This is where the past tense comes in. When we want to talk about abilities we had in the past, things we were able to do before but maybe not anymore, we use could. Could is the past tense form of can. For example, when I was a child, I could climb trees very easily. I was really good at it. But now I can't climb trees anymore. I'm too old, I'm too nervous, and I'm definitely not as flexible as I used to be.
So could is for abilities you had before, but maybe you don't have them anymore?
Yes. Or sometimes you still have the ability, but you're talking about a time in the past. Let me give you more examples. When I was younger, I could stay up all night studying without feeling tired. These days, if I stay up past midnight, I'm exhausted the next day. When I was in high school, I could memorize vocabulary lists very quickly. I had a really sharp memory. And when I lived near the beach, I could surf every weekend because I had so much free time.
I love these examples because they're so relatable. Everyone has things they could do when they were younger. Let me try. When I was a teenager, I could eat anything I wanted without gaining weight. Pizza, ice cream, fast food, it didn't matter. But now I have to watch what I eat. When I was in college, I could study for hours and hours without taking breaks. I had so much focus and energy. And when I lived in Spain for a year, I could speak Spanish fluently every single day. I was totally immersed in the language.
Those are excellent examples, Alex. And you're right, everyone has these kinds of memories. Things change as we get older, our circumstances change, and our abilities change too. That's why could for past ability is so useful and so common in everyday conversation.
So anytime I'm talking about something I was able to do in the past, I use could.
Well, mostly yes, but there's one tricky thing I need to explain. We use could for general abilities in the past, things you could do regularly or repeatedly, but we don't typically use could for one specific achievement or one specific moment in the past. For that, we use was able to or managed to instead.
Wait, what? Can you explain that more? I'm confused.
Sure, let me give you examples. I can say, when I was young, I could run very fast. That's a general ability I had. But I wouldn't say, yesterday I could run to the bus stop in time. That's a specific achievement, a specific moment. Instead, I'd say, yesterday I was able to run to the bus stop in time, or yesterday I managed to catch the bus.
Oh, I see. So could is for general past abilities, like I could swim when I was 10 years old, but for specific past achievements, I use was able to, like last week I was able to swim across the entire pool without stopping.
Exactly, you've got it. Here's another example. When I worked at that company, I could leave early on Fridays. General ability, repeated action. But last Friday, I was able to leave early because I finished my work. Specific moment, specific achievement.
This is really helpful. So if I'm talking about a habit or general skill I had, I use could. But if I'm talking about one time when I successfully did something, I use was able to.
Perfect understanding, Alex. Now, I should mention that in casual conversation, native speakers sometimes break this rule. You might hear someone say, yesterday I could finish my work early. It's not technically correct according to grammar rules, but people do say it. However, for learners, it's better to know the proper rule. Could for general past abilities, was able to for specific past achievements.
Got it. I'll remember that. So just to make sure I understand, when I was in school, I could solve math problems easily, is correct because it's general. But on the test, I was able to solve all the problems is correct because it's a specific moment.
Exactly right. You're really getting this, Alex. All right, let's summarize. Could is the past tense of can, and we use it for general abilities we had in the past, things we were regularly able to do before. For specific moments or achievements, we use was able to instead.
Perfect. I understand now. What's the third difference?
The third and fourth differences are related. They're both about making requests, but there's an important difference in politeness. This is one of the most useful things you'll learn today. Both can and could can be used to make requests, to ask people to do things for you. But there's a big difference in the level of politeness. Let me show you. Alex, can you pass me that pen?
Sure, here you go. That sounded pretty normal and polite to me.
Yes. Can you pass me that pen is polite and friendly. It's perfectly appropriate for everyday situations. We use this kind of request with friends, family, classmates, colleagues, people we're comfortable with and have a casual relationship with. It's direct, but not rude at all.
So, can is good for normal everyday requests?
Exactly. Let me give you more examples. Can you help me with this? Can you send me that file? Can you pick up some milk on your way home? Can you turn down the music a bit? All of these are friendly, casual requests that you might make to people you know.
Those all sound natural and polite to me. So, when would I not want to use can?
Good question. You might want to avoid can when you're in a more formal situation or when you're asking for something that might be inconvenient for the other person, or when you're talking to someone you need to show extra respect to, like your boss, a teacher, or someone you don't know well.
Oh, so the relationship and the situation matter.
Yes, context is everything in English politeness. Let me give you some examples of when can works great. You're at home with your family. Mom, can you help me with my homework? Perfect. You're with your close friend. Can you give me a ride to the airport? Great. You're with your colleague who sits next to you. Can you show me how to use this program? Totally fine.
Those all make sense. They're all casual, comfortable situations with people you know well.
Exactly. And here's another point. Even with can, you can make it more polite by adding please or softening words. Can you please help me? Can you help me please? Could you possibly help me? Would you mind helping me? There are many ways to adjust politeness in English.
So, adding please makes it more polite even if I'm using can.
Absolutely. Please is always a good idea. Can you help me please is more polite than just can you help me? But now, let me show you an even more polite way to ask, using could instead of can.
Okay, I'm ready. What's the difference?
Let me demonstrate. Alex, could you pass me that pen?
That sounds more formal, more polite somehow, like you're being extra respectful.
Yes, you picked up on that. Let's talk about why could sounds more polite than can. Could is more polite and formal than can when making requests. It's not that can is rude. Can is perfectly fine and polite in most everyday situations. But could adds an extra layer of politeness, formality, and respect. It makes you sound more courteous and considerate.
So when should I use could instead of can?
Great question. Use could in these situations: when you're talking to your boss or supervisor, when you're asking a teacher or professor for something, when you're speaking to a customer or client, when you're talking to someone you don't know well, when you're asking for something that might be inconvenient or difficult for the other person.
So basically, when I want to show extra respect or when the situation is more formal.
Exactly. Let me give you examples. At work, talking to your boss. Could you review this report when you have time? Much more professional than, can you review this report? Talking to a stranger on the street. Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the train station? More polite than, can you tell me how to get to the train station?
I can definitely hear the difference. Could sounds more respectful.
Yes. Here are more examples. Asking your professor, could I have an extension on this assignment? Asking a customer, could I get your email address, please? Asking for a favor that might be inconvenient. Could you give me a ride to the airport? I know it's far. In all of these cases, could shows that you recognize you're asking for something and you're being respectful about it.
So if I'm asking my boss for time off, I should say, could I take Friday off, not can I take Friday off?
Yes. Could I take Friday off sounds much more professional and respectful. It shows you understand that you're asking for permission and that your boss has the authority to say yes or no. Can I take Friday off isn't rude, but it sounds more casual, like you're expecting the answer to be yes.
That's really interesting. So the word choice affects how my attitude sounds.
Exactly. Language is so powerful like that. Could makes you sound more tentative, more respectful, more aware that you're asking for something. Can is more direct and assumes a friendlier, more equal relationship. Both are useful. You just need to match the word to the situation.
What about asking for permission, like can I use your phone versus could I use your phone?
Great example. Both work, but again, could is more polite. Can I use your phone is fine with friends and family. Could I use your phone is better with people you don't know well or in more formal situations. Another example. Asking your teacher, could I go to the bathroom, is more polite than, can I go to the bathroom, even though both are asking for permission.
This is so helpful. I always want to sound polite in English, so I think I'll use could more often, especially at work or with people I don't know well.
That's a smart strategy, Alex. You really can't go wrong with being more polite. The worst that can happen is someone thinks you're very respectful and well-mannered. But remember, with close friends and family, can is perfectly fine and actually sounds more natural and warm. If you use could with your best friend, it might sound overly formal or even a bit distant.
Ah, so I need to read the situation and the relationship.
Exactly. That's what native speakers do naturally. Okay, let's summarize. Can for casual, friendly requests with people you know well. Could for more polite, formal requests, or when you want to show extra respect. Both are correct, both are polite. Could is just more polite.
Got it. So we've covered ability in the present with can, ability in the past with could, and requests with both can and could. What's the fifth difference?
The fifth use is could for possibilities and uncertainty. This is a really useful one for everyday conversation. We use could to talk about possibilities, things that might happen or might be true. This is different from ability. Let me show you. It could rain tomorrow. This doesn't mean that rain has the ability to happen. It means there's a possibility of rain. There's a chance it will rain, but we're not certain.
Oh, so could is like saying maybe or possibly?
Yes, could expresses uncertainty, possibility, or potential. It means this is one possible outcome, or this might be true, but I'm not sure. Let me give you more examples. She could be at home right now. Maybe she's home, maybe she's not. I don't know for sure. We could go to the movies tonight. It's one possible option we're considering. That could be the solution to our problem. It might be the solution, but we need to check.
This is really useful. So when I'm not sure about something or when I'm suggesting a possibility, I can use could.
Exactly. Could is very common in everyday conversation for this purpose. Let's compare it with can to see the difference. We don't usually use can for future possibilities. Listen to these sentences. It can rain tomorrow. This sounds wrong, doesn't it? It could rain tomorrow. This sounds natural and correct.
Yeah, it can rain tomorrow sounds strange to me. Why is that?
Because can is for general present truths or general possibilities, but not specific future possibilities. For example, we can say it can rain a lot in April. That's a general truth about April. But for tomorrow specifically, we need could. It could rain tomorrow.
Interesting. So can is for general possibilities that are always true, and could is for specific future possibilities.
Yes. Here are more examples to make this clear. General truth with can. Anyone can make mistakes. This is always true. Accidents can happen when you're not careful. General truth. Things can change quickly in this industry. General statement. But specific future possibilities with could. You could win the lottery this week. Specific possibility. This meeting could run late today. Specific possibility. She could call you tonight. Specific possibility.
Ah, I understand now.
Let me practice with could for possibilities. I could get a promotion this year. There's a possibility I'll get promoted. The package could arrive tomorrow. Maybe it will arrive tomorrow, maybe later. This restaurant could be expensive. I'm not sure about the price, but it might be expensive.
Perfect examples, Alex. You've really got this. Now, let me show you how could is also used for suggestions. When you want to suggest possibilities or options, could is perfect. We could try that new Italian restaurant, suggesting an option. You could ask your manager for help, suggesting a possibility. They could postpone the meeting until next week, suggesting an alternative.
Oh, so could is useful for giving advice or making suggestions in a gentler way.
Exactly. It's softer and less direct than saying, you should do this. Compare these. You should ask for a raise. That's direct advice, almost like a command. You could ask for a raise. That's a suggestion. You're presenting it as one possibility. It gives the other person more choice and feels less pushy.
I like that. It sounds more collaborative, like you're offering ideas rather than telling someone what to do.
Yes, that's why could is so useful in professional environments and in polite conversation. It helps you make suggestions without sounding bossy or forceful. Here are more examples. We could approach this problem differently, suggesting an alternative. You could try calling them instead of emailing, offering a suggestion. They could hire more people to solve this issue, presenting a possibility.
This is so helpful for business English. I'm always looking for ways to make suggestions without sounding too direct or aggressive.
Exactly. Could is one of the most diplomatic words in English. It shows you're thinking about possibilities, you're open to different outcomes, and you're not being overly assertive. Native speakers use it constantly in meetings, negotiations, and collaborative discussions.
Let me try making some suggestions with could. We could schedule the meeting for Thursday instead of Friday. You could send a follow-up email to make sure they received your message. The team could brainstorm some new ideas in tomorrow's session.
Excellent. All of those sound professional, collaborative, and polite. You're presenting options rather than commands. Great work, Alex. Okay, we've now covered all 5 main uses of can and could. But before we finish, let's do some practice examples to make sure everyone really understands how to use these words correctly.
Yes, I love practice examples. They really help everything sink in.
All right, I'm going to give you some situations and you tell me whether to use can or could and why. This will help everyone watching practice their understanding. Ready, Alex?
Ready. Let's do this.
Number 1, you want to ask your friend, someone you're very close with, to help you move to a new apartment this weekend. What do you say?
My friend is close to me. We have a casual relationship, so I'd say, can you help me move this weekend? I'm using can because it's a casual request with someone I know well.
Perfect. Great explanation. Number 2, you want to ask your manager if you can work from home tomorrow. This is a more formal situation.
This is definitely more formal. It's my boss, and I'm asking for permission that affects my work, so I'd say, could I work from home tomorrow? I'm using could to be more polite and professional.
Excellent. You're really getting this. Number 3, you're telling someone about your childhood. You want to say you had the ability to speak French when you were young, but you don't speak it anymore.
This is past ability, something I was able to do before. So I'd say, when I was young, I could speak French. I'm using could as the past form of can for ability.
Perfect. Number 4, you want to tell your friend about a possible plan for the weekend. You're thinking maybe you could go hiking, but you're not sure yet.
This is about a possibility, something that might happen in the future. So I'd say, we could go hiking this weekend. I'm using could to express that it's one possible option.
Great job, Alex. Number 5, you want to tell me about something you're able to do now, a skill you currently have.
Present ability. I can cook really well, or I can play the piano, using can for abilities I have right now.
Excellent. Let's do a couple more challenging ones. Number 6, you want to politely interrupt your boss during a meeting to ask a quick question. What do you say?
Oh, this needs to be very polite because I'm interrupting my boss in a meeting. I'd say, could I ask a quick question? Or, excuse me, could I interrupt for just a moment? Using could because it's formal and respectful.
Perfect. Very professional. Number 7, you want to tell your colleague about something that's a general truth, that mistakes can happen in any project.
This is a general truth, not a specific future possibility, so I'd use can. Mistakes can happen in any project. It's a general statement about what's possible.
Exactly right. Number 8, you're at a restaurant and you want to ask the waiter for some water. You don't know the waiter personally.
The stranger is a stranger, so I should be polite. I'd say, could I have some water, please? Or could you bring me some water, please? Using could to be respectful to someone I don't know.
Perfect. And adding please makes it even more polite. Great work, Alex. And great work to everyone watching who's been practicing along with us. You now understand the 5 main differences between can and could. Let's do one final summary before we finish.
Yes, I want to make sure I remember all 5 uses.
All right, everyone, let's review the 5 key differences between can and could one more time.
Number 1, can for present ability, things we're able to do now, skills and capabilities we currently have. Example, I can swim, or I can speak English.
Number 2, could for past ability, things we were able to do before, general abilities we had in the past. Example, when I was young, I could swim very fast, or I could speak Spanish when I lived in Mexico.
Number 3, can for casual requests, asking people to do things in friendly, informal situations. Example, can you help me? Or can you send me that file?
Number 4, could for polite requests, making requests in more formal situations or showing extra respect. Example, could you help me? Or could I take Friday off?
And number 5, could for possibilities, talking about things that might happen or might be true, making suggestions, expressing uncertainty. Example, it could rain tomorrow. Or we could try that new restaurant.
Perfect summary, Alex. Now, here's your homework, everyone. In the comments below, I want you to write 3 sentences. First, 1 sentence using can for present ability, something you can do now. Second, 1 sentence using could for past ability, something you could do before. And third, 1 sentence using could for a possibility, something that might happen. We'll read your sentences and give you feedback.
Yes, we love reading your comments. It helps you practice writing, it helps us understand what you're learning, and it helps us know what topics to cover next.
And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We post new English grammar and conversation practice videos multiple times every week.
We cover grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, conversation skills, everything you need to improve your English.
What grammar topics should we cover next? Modal verbs like should and would? Verb tenses? Prepositions? Let us know in the comments what you want to learn.
And remember, everyone, learning English is a journey. Don't expect to be perfect right away. The fact that you watched this entire video shows you're committed to improving. Be patient with yourself, practice regularly, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we all learn.
Absolutely. Every mistake is a learning opportunity. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and your English will keep getting better.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We really appreciate you being here and learning with us. Until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep speaking English with confidence.
See you in the next video, everyone.
Goodbye and happy learning.
Bye.